there is a report out that the average life expectancy, as we know, for a cat or a dog is between 10 and 15 years, but that there's a new scientific breakthrough which could give your pet a longer life. And Dr. Carol Hurley, a veterinarian with the Waltham Center for Pet Nutrition in England, has developed what they're calling a kind of superfood. It's an additive, and she's with us this morning from our London bureau. So this is antioxidants, Dr. Hurley, which do what?
Yes, good morning. It's a unique blend of antioxidants that, when added together, they work in combination to help protect the cells at the level of the DNA. So they help to prevent damage to DNA in the cells.
We know that humans can take antioxidant supplements themselves, but you're saying you're actually able to measure the amount of DNA repair or lack of damage?
That's right. We already know that the DNA that exists in every cell is damaged up to 10,000 times a day by what's called free radicals. And this is a normal process that happens from exposure to sunlight, to pollution, from stress, from routine exercise.
But so what are the implications of DNA in longevity? In other words, if what you're able to measure in longevity, how long can these pets live?
Right. Well, as DNA damage starts to accumulate, we start to see age-related diseases such as arthritis, cancers, cataracts, all the sorts of things that we see in people with aging, our pets can get as well. And so what we've seen is, by being able to test the amount of damage in cells, we've adapted a test from the human field at the Waltham Center, and we've been able to combine these ingredients fed to pets, and found that in dogs fed this food for 2 months, there's a 26% decrease in the amount of damage to their DNA.
But you don't know exactly what that means in terms of years achieved, extra years.
Well, yeah. Not yet, and that's what we're doing, is following these animals along. The idea is that, for instance, it takes only one cell to be damaged to start the process of a cancer or start the process of an age-related disease. And so what we're looking for is that these animals have the best potential for their lifespan.
All right,
so
well, everybody's
going to slower aging process.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Everybody's going to be following this, of course, not only for animals, but for humans as well, coming up. And thanks for telling us about it. I gather it'll be available in about a year. So we'll let everybody out there know. But let's get the weather. Tony Perkins is here.
All right, thank you, Diane. Before we get to the weather, every day our producers survey the crowd to find out interesting things, interesting stories, and we have learned a couple of things this morning. In fact, we're starting a new feature. First of all, we've noticed that for some reason, several people in our audience have worn various shades of purple. Just by coincidence, did you all call each other and plan this?
No.
No. And even Eddie, come here, is on our crew. He's wearing purple as well. And Jeremy is also wearing a shade of purple. Very odd. I'm not sure why that is. All right, get out of here. Now, the other thing that we've noticed, and we're very excited about this, almost everyone in our audience is the same height. Can you pan around? Except for just a few people. You will have to leave. I'm sorry. And this gentleman on the end, sir, with the glasses, you'll have to leave. I'm sorry, you can't be a part of the crowd today. All right, now that looks better. I'm happy. Take a look at what's happening with weather conditions around the nation. We start with the high temperatures for today. It is going to be a warm one in the south, but these temperatures are pretty much seasonable for most of the nation. 70s in the upper Midwest. We'll see some 80s throughout much of the U.S. Desert Southwest, of course, over 100 degrees again. Take a look at the highlights for today. New York City, beautiful day here. 80 degrees today. St. Louis, 83. Albuquerque, you're looking at 87. San Diego, a pleasant 74. Where will we see rain? We'll see some scattered showers in portions of the west. Most of the west will be dry. Look for possible flooding in southern Texas, central and southern Florida, where the rain will be heavy. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning. Certainly no rain here. Nothing but dry skies. Next chance for rain not even until Thursday afternoon, with a slight chance of a shower. Today and tomorrow, mostly sunny, highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Thursday could see a slight chance of a shower, and then smooth sailing once again.
You have to leave, too. You're a little too tall. Thank you very much. This weather report brought to you by Walmart. If you'd like to be in our studio audience, you have to be 5'8", and just send an email to abcnews.com. Diane, back to you.
Okay, Tony. Well, an ad for the new HBO series, The Mind of the Married Man, says, in marriage, no one can hear you scream. Why am I laughing?
Yeah, right.
But what would it be like if we could hear inside the man who was married? Thoughts, everything from infidelity to a lot of other things that we can't talk about on morning television. Well, the new series is called, despite what he wants it to be, the male version of Sex and the City. And to hear more about what goes on in the mind of its creator and star, we're joined by Mike Binder, and it's good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here. And I actually don't mind. I think Sex and the City is a great show. So you know, I don't mind. It's just the show. It's such an easy handle to say it's you know, a male version of Sex and the City. But.
Okay. Where do you start when you say, I'm going to do a series about the mind of a married man? What's the first thing you start doing? Jotting down your own thoughts?
I start preparing for my wife to move out is what that's the first thing. No. Actually, she likes the show. My wife is, but I think the idea was to do a show that tries to capture how men talk when their wives aren't around. And you know, one of the things they talk about the most is sex. So that's really what people have caught on to what we're doing, you know. But I think that there's a lot of things that people talk about, and
what are the principal differences in the way men talk about sex and women do?
I think that men are a little more two-faced about it.
How do you mean?
They talk one way with their friends, and then with their wives, they're a completely different person. And I think that's the truth, and I think that women kind of know that and are more comfortable with it. I really, one thing I think doing this show, you kind of learn that women don't want to hear everything. They kind of assume that we're messed up, that we're a little screwed up. And it's like, just go talk to your friends about that, please.
All right, we have a clip from the show, and it just gives you a little sense of something when, well, he's talking about something his wife found.
I found a file open, one I never leave up.
Dad, I found porn on your computer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like pornography?
Yes.
What kind?
What does it matter what kind? These pictures of naked women, Doug. Naked, not my wife women. What does it matter what kind?
She hadn't said anything yet?
Not Donna. She'll gather her facts first. Find the site I downloaded it from. Trace the credit card bill.
That wasn't me, by the way. One of the writers came up with that whole storyline. I have purely work of research on my computer.
Right. You've heard about such things, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Do men talk as much about their appearances, or ever about their appearances?
I don't think so. Not in my experience. Some men do. You know.
Do men talk about relationships at all, or do they save that for home?
Yeah, no. They talk about relationships. They do. They talk about their relationships a lot with each other, more than at least the men that I hang out with. You know, you don't know. There's so many men out there. I think there's a good 1,500 of them at last count. But the ones that I know, the 1,400 that I know, seem to talk about, you know, relationships in terms of what isn't working more than what's working.
In all your research for this, what did you learn about the mind of a married man that you didn't know?
What I think is interesting, and where the show's point of view is, men want to be married. Men like to be married. They like to complain about it. But if you see a guy who's married get divorced, you know what he does? He runs out and he gets married again. Men like to be married, and single men dream of finding the right person to be married. They're not single because they want to be single. They always think one day they're going to get married. Men like to be married, and that's the point of view of the show.
And very funny.
Thank you.
It's what I've heard. The word around the shop here is that it's truly funny, and it's called The Mind of the Married Man, and it premieres, you should know, on HBO. When does it premiere?
Tonight. There's a sneak preview tonight, and then Sunday night it starts airing after Band of Brothers.
All right. Coming up, men get their revenge. And we'll be right back.
ABC 7 is on your side.
By making your mornings easier.
And it starts here with our Good Morning Washington promise. From the time you wake up to the time you walk out your door.
You'll get your full weather and traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 7s.
And in between, the latest news from overnight. What happened while you slept?
It's our promise to you.
Weather and traffic every 10 minutes on the 7s.
Plus the news from overnight.
It's the Good Morning Washington Promise, and it's only on ABC 7. Proud to be on your side.
Behind in the polls, Mark Earley's launched false attacks on Mark Warner. The press says Earley's taken the low road. His attacks are absurd, repulsive, ugly. Earley's claims about Mark Warner are dead wrong. Fabrication, a smear. They insult voters. It's typical old-style politics. Mark Earley, no positive plan. Negative ads that don't tell the truth. Virginia deserves better.
Vehicle history report, extensive.
When it comes to buying a used car, do you really know what you're getting? Toyota does, because beyond getting legendary Toyota quality, dependability, and reliability, there's a few other important things you get too.
Like 6.9% APR financing up to 60 months on all certified used Camrys, Solaras, and Corollas. Toyota certified used vehicles. We're good on our words. Available exclusively at your Toyota certified used vehicle dealer.
CarMax.com has a great selection of used cars online. We carry nearly every make and model. Find a car from any of the thousands we sell nationwide and have it transferred to the store nearest you. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
You asked for used cars you can depend on, so we created CarMax, where every used car comes with a 30-day limited warranty and a 5-day money-back guarantee. We even offer extended warranties that protect you for up to 100,000 miles. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
ABC next Tuesday. The season starts here. Dharma and Greg, the episode you've been waiting for.
Dharma, I'm so sorry.
Spin City, the moment you thought would never happen.
I'm back.
And from the creator of NYPD Blue, Tom Everett Scott and Emmy Award winner Kim Delaney.
You want to play hardball with me, I will break your skull.
You already tried that once.
Philly. Dharma and Greg Spin City and the series premiere of Philly. ABC next Tuesday. The season starts here.
Sarah, the Duchess of York, is with us. It's always nice to have her back. No stranger to overcoming obstacles in her life, as you probably know, from weight problems to the emotional problems of her darkest days following her divorce from Prince Andrew. This week, she's off to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where, in what is believed to be the first challenge of its kind, she's going to help residents of an entire county overcome their obstacles to losing weight. And she joins us now. Off to Waukesha County in Wisconsin, you are.
Morning, Charlie.
A third of the people there, supposedly overweight. That's about 300,000 people, I guess, in rough terms. Each of them takes off 10 pounds. That's 3 million pounds you're going to help people lose.
Well, I think it's all about support, isn't it? It is a thought, isn't it? But
Yes.
it is about support. And Weight Watchers is really about helping people through group settings. And if you think about it, 3 million pounds, and it's all about people talking and going down to the local library or wherever they sign up. But it's about a joint group getting together saying, yes, we're going to make a difference.
That's not only a whole football team, that's the whole National Football League or the English Soccer League or whatever.
Or
that
something
you're
like that.
losing in weight. But how do you do that? I mean, do you cajole them? Do you scold them? Do you plead with them? Do you lecture with them? What do you
No,
do?
I think it's about education on what are the side effects of being overweight and what disease, diabetes or what other diseases stem from being obese or being overweight. I mean, it's not just about health and fitness and nutrition. It's about the whole package, the heart problems that stem from it, and various other things.
And emotional problems.
And emotional problems. Well, emotional problems, that was my problem. I ate to compensate for my feelings.
Right.
And a lot of people think, no, I'm fine, I'm all right. And then they go and eat 5 cookies, you know. It's the thing of why do you not want to look at your own problems?
You wrote very frankly in Rosie's magazine about depression, about the fact that you were really down at one point. And is that equated in your mind, eating and depression and tough times?
No question about it. In my case, when I had managed to make a complete nonsense of my life, whether it be financial, whether I'd gone through a divorce, I just thought I was worthless. And so what I did was I got very sad and very down, and I ate and ate and ate and got larger and larger and larger and then beat myself up even more, and it's that vicious circle. And you never think you can get off the carousel ride, but you just can, you know. You can with support, and that's what really we're saying in Waukesha County.
That's a great phrase, making a nonsense of my life. I mean, it's a wonderfully light phrase, and yet it really bespeaks of very tough. I mean, it's a light phrase connected to very tough times that you were going through.
Well, it's just, you know, to publicly self-humiliate yourself is something...
Did you feel that way, really?
Something quite huge to do, isn't it?
Did you really feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. It was
really?
rock bottom, yeah, rock bottom.
And the weight loss then brought back the self-esteem and was a critical way to reverse that?
No, taking charge of my life. Taking charge of my finances, taking charge of the way I was going to go forward, and actually getting forward and not sitting in a corner shaking was kind of an achievement.
So, and weight was just one aspect of
weight
that.
Was it? Weight? Well, no, weight was the symptom of how bad I was feeling.
Right.
And so so everyone could see I was getting larger. There must be some problem, you know. And the thing is I then dealt with all my issues, and in dealing with it, I'm sitting here today with a little more confidence.
Yeah, and you're going to do that all for an entire county of people in Waukesha.
Well, we can have a go, can't we?
Let me ask you about something that got a lot of publicity in this country, and I'm sure in England. And I know you're very uncomfortable with questions about the royal family, but it was so publicized in this country. A journal, The Spectator in London, which is thought to have very close ties to Buckingham Palace, said that after the celebration of the Queen's 50th year in the throne in 2002, that she will go ahead and give her approval to a marriage between Prince Charles and Camilla. Your reaction to that article?
I think it's rather wonderful that they were obviously in the room when all this was being discussed.
Doesn't the family, though, sometimes use journals to get out just float a trial balloon, in effect?
Well, the great thing is I don't do that. So whether they do it or not, I have no idea. And it would be very incorrect of me to make a judgment on that. But I always love it when they do front pages and they say, this is what's going to happen, and this is, you know, who's going to do this. But I'd love to know if they're actually sitting in the bedroom or the room or the sitting room.
Well, I doubt they're in the room, but maybe
discussed.
they get a call from somebody who knows what's going on at the palace.
But isn't, in America and in politics, isn't spinning, what is spinning, Charlie?
Well, spinning is getting out your point of view, trying to put your interpretation on something.
So do you think there is a lot of spinning done in politics and various other places?
Sure.
Well...
Sure. But do you think this one is spun correctly? On that note, we will thank you for being here. It's good to have you here as always.
Charlie.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
It is now 48 minutes after 8. More from Fashion Week in just a moment. Stay with us.
Trust in me in all you do. Have the faith I have in you. Love will see us through if only you trust in me. Trust me now.
With Weight Watchers, every food has a points value. And now every point works harder than ever. Introducing Winning Points, the way to stay satisfied. Eat what you like and still stay within your daily points range. So you stick with it and lose.
Now, take it off and show it off. Enter Weight Watchers Take It Off, Show It Off sweepstakes. Win a fabulous new $10,000 wardrobe.
Now's the time to join Weight Watchers. For pricing and location information, call 301-770-4115.
Looking for home furnishing of exceptional value and quality? Then come to Galahans and see a wide selection of the area's finest furniture, all at 30 to 50% off every day. Discover the unique shopping experience of Galahans. And right now, receive up to $1,000 back on Century Savoy. From traditional to transitional, Galahans is your complete home furnishing destination. Take I-95 south to Fredericksburg, Virginia. Come for the selection, buy for the discounts.
Morning. How'd you sleep?
Good.
I slept great. Must be that fresh mountain air, you know? Nothing like it. Oh, man.
Introducing the Jetta wagon, with room for 70 cubic feet of anything.
Ah, the great outdoors.
If a football hero accused of murder is news for months, if every Capitol Hill scandal merits weeks of coverage, how much attention do 2.5 million dead merit? It's a story we should have brought you long ago. This week on Nightline, we'd like to make up for that by finally telling you about the beauty and the tragedy of Congo. 3 years, 2.5 million dead. we thought you should know.